isn't it? James, Stephen,
How are we doing?
hello.
Stephen, Justin, hello.
And welcome everybody.
You're the boss tonight.
Oh, it looks like I'm the boss.
You got
tonight.
a promotion.
Welcome from Paddy and from across the shuck and wee Judd, and of course our special guest for this evening, who is James Richards from Twisted Assisted, the darlings, I think I referred to them, of the British of the UK EDC community. Darlings of the EDC community.
Yeah.
You got to get that on a t-shirt, James. You really do.
Yeah. EDC darlings. Yeah, I like that.
I'm not sure where this is going to go tonight.
It could go anywhere.
Mikey, you're more than welcome. Nice to see you in here.
We've got 5 in so far. I'm sure there's more people going to be joining us as we go. What happens normally, James, is especially on a Tuesday, is that people start. I hesitate to use the word skiving off work and things like that, or have the podcast playing in the background. But what we're going to do this evening is just catch up with James, because last time we talked with James, I think it was October, James, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, pre-Christmas. Pre-Christmas.
It was pre the launch of the Twisted Gambler. So
that's right. Yeah.
That's going to be probably
the Gambler's now here, and everybody who backed the campaign on Kickstarter has either received their rewards or should be receiving them very soon as they travel throughout the world. They went to South Korea, they went to the USA. In fact, the USA were our biggest buyers of the Twisted Gambler.
That's amazing.
Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Finland, Sweden. It really was quite far-reaching.
Which was I had really an awful lot of my subs from the States bought them.
Yes,
they really
absolutely. And so I slipped a wee business card in there with a lot of the parcels that we sent out. So we're hoping they're going to come on board as regular customers and check out our site once in a while, because we're not just for the UK. We do sell globally, which is, I think you've got to these days. We love the UK market, but we've got to keep our eye and the finger on the global pulse.
And that's great, because it's now becoming a wee community. It's starting to gradually evolve and build up that speed again. And we're getting people who are asking about Twisted Assisted. The amount of questions I get asked about Twisted Assisted is phenomenal for such a new company that's coming in. You're creating an awful lot of interest, which fair play to you. It's all down to you. Yeah. And I have to say, I have never had one. Now, this means a lot to me. I have never had one person come back and say they haven't enjoyed the product, or if they've had any slight problem, you've sorted it out, which is even more important to a small company. So yeah, fair play to you. I mean, I still use this. I still use this as my little folding knife. This is the Junzi, the Twisted Assisted Junzi, smashing little knife. I'm getting new scales for this, so I'll do a scale swap for you on this again, just to let you see that the other part of James's business is what he has behind the products. He's got different scales, he's got different attachment lanyards, skulls, tritium. So you're going to see a lot of that now in the next coming months or so.
Yeah, you certainly will. And what we like to do is to give production knives a custom feel. And so for production knife money, you can then add a degree of personalization to your knife and make it yours. I can't tell you how many knives that I've bought where they're just available in black G10, the blade finish, and that's it. You can put your own lanyard on it, but that's it. We can offer scales. In fact, we offer scales on every single knife that we do. The only ones that we don't are the traditionally made knives, like the traditional slip joint, where everything is riveted and peened and you can't really do anything with that. But we do try and allow people to personalize their knife, and we have a lot of fun. I decompress in the TA custom shop where of a weekend or of an evening, we might force a patina on some copper scales and play around with tritium and put it on our knives. And we've made some fantastic friends who have bring various skills to the table. Got a very good friend called Steve Gale, and he's into CNC. He's on, give him a wee plug, Small Shed Designs on Instagram. Check him out. He's awesome. He did all of the CNC work for putting the tritium, the cutout, the slot on the scales. So he sort of pulled our chestnuts out of the fire with that, because Best Tech kind of balked at the idea of only cutting out 100 pairs of tritium cutouts on 100 pairs of scales. So he really helped us out there.
That's some of Steve Gale's work there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's fantastic. I've got a wee tray as well. You know,
and he's such a nice guy. I mean, if you meet, I was lucky enough to meet him at the Sharp show in October, and he and I chat every day, and it was just fantastic to see him. So I'll be seeing him before the Sharp show 2023 anyway. So we're gonna meet up and have lunch. We got somebody who's doing machine work. They've got a lathe. They're fantastic with metal. Richard Hipwell. Anybody that's in the custom torches and flashlights, you'll probably know of him. He mills out slots for tritium. So he's been milling out pivots for us, Junsey pivots, tulip pivots. He's just got some amazing skills. So
damn them just handy people really get on my nerves. Yeah. I'm so bad.
I know my limitations. I'm a bit like Simon Cowell. I can't sing, but I'm good at recognizing talents in other people.
Well, that's a talent in itself. But
I guess
it's funny because I was watching your Instagram and sort of and prep for this and whatever else, and it's just some of the work that you got done, and one of the ones you sold a set of copper scales on a Junsey to a guy that they were the shipwreck patina or whatever.
Uh-huh.
What is the thing? Because I've seen an awful lot of this. What is the thing with that whole shipwreck thing going on?
Rusted.
Is it just
rusted? Just force rust.
Yeah, it's basically you're just forcing a patina. So just clean the scales. I've got a secret recipe, which it's not so secret because I'm a blabbermouth, and I tell
it was a secret
that's interested. But it's just using household chemicals. You can force a patina onto copper. Copper is particularly reactive and really patinas very well. You can also patina brass as well. You can do that, but it's essentially salt water, ammonia, and a Tupperware lid, and you can force the patina. And then what is important though, for anybody attempting this, is to do 8 to 10 coats of very hard wearing lacquer on top. Otherwise the patina would just rub off onto your hand. Right. And so you've got to protect that with multiple layers of high coat.
And I mean, how long does that normally take you to do then, James?
I mean, it takes 8 to 10 layers, and it takes me 3 days. I'll sort of look at my watch, right, nip outside, give it a spray coat, bring them in. I do batches of about 4 at a time, and then the following day let the lacquer set. You can't rush it. If you rush it, you'll get fingerprints in the lacquer and things like that. So it is a very long, drawn out process. And we charge, like 20 quid.
Oh, good God. That's enough.
Of copper scales. So you do get a lot for your money, and I get some time in the custom shop. So everybody wins. But this is all things that people can do at home.
I was thinking, I might even start getting a few of my subs together who buy from you and maybe putting it out. Why don't they get in a wee group of sort of 4 that are in the same area and do an order for 4 at once. That way they're going to
Yeah.
save on postage, and they could buy a wee tritium just to make it up to each other.
That's it. Yeah,
That sort of
there's
thing.
all
That would be a
sorts of
nice
things.
deal, you know, in the same area, and then they can repost it at home.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be cheaper for them. It'd be nice to get it, and that'll build that wee family sort of.
It will.
Well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, anybody that's in the area, you know, anybody that's in the West Kent area, if you go to our website, you know, you can get my contact. You can WhatsApp me through the website. Get in contact. You know, our workshop doors are open. What I'd like to see happen eventually is to get some sort of a hub in the USA. So if any of your USA subbies are watching at the moment, it breaks my heart. I have people in America ordering one tritium file, and you know, it's £5.49. Postage is £17.
I know,
And
it's
so I'm
ludicrous.
thinking, you know, if they can club together, people can club together and save on postage.
Well, I'm in a wee group. I'm in a wee group on a Sunday night here in the UK with some of the boys over in America, and there's about 5 of us who are regulars. And so I must give them a wee thing and see if I can get an order where they can just all order together and save the money on postage.
Absolutely, and then
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah, well, and what we can do is with that money saved, we can send. We've got an account with DHL Express. I think it's 3 days. 2 days is the record of going across the pond. So we've got the distribution, the logistical network set up to get things to America very, very quickly. What's also going to help is, and I'll just mention this quickly, is that we're going to be exhibiting at Blade Show in Atlanta in June. So
you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
you're actually exhibiting.
Yeah, fantastic. We're going to be. We went 3 years in a row just as punters, and I was helping out on with a colleague of mine who had a booth. But no, we're going to be there. We're going to be in the ballroom, and we've got a table, and so we're really looking forward to that. And again, I'm hoping we can make some contacts, and it tends to be, you know, you can meet everybody during the day, but is talking with the other knife makers, with the other retailers, and in the pit afterwards over drinks. That's where we're going to make some really good connections and contacts.
Ben Belkin from Jack Wolf Knives said exactly the same thing. It's all about the networking, really, the relationship that you form there. And that's the 90% of the fun as much as anything else.
Yeah, if you get a chance to say, have you met Ben before?
Ben Belkin
from Jack Wolf Knives?
No, I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
A really nice fella. He actually imports into the UK, which is unusual for a designer that does, you know, gets his stuff made. Now, I don't know whether you've seen the Jack Wolf Knives. Oh, wrong one. This is one of his slip joints.
All right.
Let me see.
Oh, beautiful.
Very high-end slip joints.
I've seen you putting those on Instagram. Absolutely stunning.
They really are. But he's a very nice fellow as well, and a nice person to know in America if you ever needed anything. He's very approachable.
We all need friends in America.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
And we've got one question, just James, before we move on, is that who was it actually was asking? It was Eugene was asking, does the clear coat mess with the screw holes when you're doing the lacquer?
Yeah, what happens here is that I sacrificed some pivots, and I sacrificed some pocket filler tabs, and so I use those to actually leave them in situ so that the lacquer doesn't go into and interfere with the pivot, and it doesn't interfere with the fitting of the pocket clip. I don't, you know, masking tape up the little screw holes because they aren't affected. So all I do is, I mean, you could just use your own pivot system and just use that, invert it, put it in, and then you can just spray after each coat. Then take out the pivot and take off the pocket filler tab, just to break that seal. If you go ahead and do 8 to 10 coats, one on top of the other, and just leave leave the pivot sat there, then it's going to be very, very difficult to get off. So just take it off after each coat, reapply it, and you won't get the lacquer seeping into and messing with the tolerances on that little rebate where the pivot is.
Very good. Okay.
Good.
And Mikey Newman's just reminding us actually that you've reached a historic moment where you're actually coming to the end of your Junzi stock. Was that just a nasty rumor, James, or is it actually true? I think I saw something posted about that.
Yeah. We've sort of tried to put it out there that, look, guys, if you want a Junzi, now is the time to grab the last of them. The original production run was about 1,200, and we are literally down to the last maybe 25. That's all we've got left. It has just been our bread and butter, and so very popular. Now, I will say I don't want people to sort of bank on us doing a second run, because we've got so many other new knives coming up. But I've just got a feeling that there will be a second run in 2024 where we move away from the D2. We can maybe do something in stainless. We won't be going high-end super steel, because that's not what we're about. We will be doing something middle of the road.
14P28N is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be my personal preference. Or maybe N690 Bowler.
Yeah.
Something
in a little knife like this, that's all you're ever going to need.
Yeah.
All you're ever going to need.
Something easily resharpenable, of good, good heat treat. And so, yeah, I would personally, we're not finished with the Junzi. And so if there's sufficient interest, it's quite telling, isn't it, that 1,200 knives are made and they've been around for 18 months, and it's taken 18 months for them to sell out. So that kind of gives you a little snapshot, doesn't it, of the demand in the UK, and the fact that sales have been so steady, that people are sort of still discovering it and discovering the EDC community and gradually coming into it. So I can definitely see us doing a second run in 2024. In 2023, all the sort of the slots are taken up with the projects that we've got. But 2024, a second run of Junzi would be nice. Would be nice to be able to do that.
I want to come on. I want to come on to the new projects pretty soon, James. Anyway, but before we leave it, I think what I'd really like to hear is how you got this to market, the Gambler. Because having talked to you briefly and having followed the updates that you got, because I mean, I was part and parcel of the Kickstarter, so I was following it with bated breath as every month ticked by. I mean, even through the disappointment of January, after you foolishly told us that we might have it early.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, James, you never preempt. I know you were trying to keep us hungry and everything, and it was all well intentioned. But what happened? Take us through the odyssey that has been.
Well, but we were ahead of schedule. We paid the down payment on the production run, and we were 6 weeks ahead. Everything was going swimmingly, and then we got into the new year, and the Chinese like to have 10 days off in the new year where everything shuts down, and we were just on the wrong side of it. What happens is that if you want to export from mainland China, you can't. You have to go through the Hong Kong. So wherever the factory is in China, they will have to internally ship it to Hong Kong, and from Hong Kong, it will be exported to the world. And we just missed the cutoff for getting it before their New Year celebrations. So that was the first sort of setback. And then the second more important setback was the fact that UK Customs Border Force took an interest in the 15 kilo boxes of knives which came through on a conveyor belt at 5 a.m. at Stansted Airport. That set some alarm bells. That set some alarm bells off. We had a standard letter from them, and luckily I've got a friend who's into his knives, and he's a barrister, so he gave me some advice, helped us draft some letters, and we were able to sort of converse. It was a pretty one-way conversation with Border Force. Their answer being that one day we just looked and they'd been released from customs, and that was it. Then UPS, they had to bring that box with my name on it and the name of Twisted Assisted and the name of our offices. What they had to do was they had to take those 15 boxes and to just to bring them to that address. We paid them $5,000 to do that, and they weren't capable of doing that at all. So we had my friend and I, Chris Mayhew, we could see that they were at their hub, in their London hub. So we just jumped in the car, we raced up there, and we were able to get 13 out of the 15 boxes.
What did you wrestle it out of their cold dead hands, or what?
We didn't have to pull anybody across any desks or anything like that, but I think they realized that they weren't going to get rid of us until we'd got our stuff. And it was quite an eye-opener seeing their hub there. It is just a massive place. And we got given security passes, and it's about the size of an airfield, this place. And so we came away with 13 boxes. We're still shy 2 boxes. And we're just, the size of the place is vast. I've got a feeling they will turn up eventually. And we're hoping they do, because inside those boxes are 42 special gamblers, which are made from S35VN. I caved to sort of popular demand that a more premium steel be used. So that's partly what's in the last 2 boxes. So we're hoping that they do resurface, and we're in talks for trying to sort of locate them and track them down. But it's such a vast site, and it's quite tricky to actually get anywhere with UPS. It's such a vast company, and once your parcels get lost in the system, you really are at their mercy.
Much like the GPO, we know nothing.
Yeah, no, that's it. So, but actually, while I was there, I was just taking names. I was getting mobile numbers. I was getting people's email addresses, which I've just filed away for future reference. Unfortunately, if anybody's wanting to import knives into the UK, UPS are the only people that do it.
Yeah.
If you try FedEx or DHL Express, then they do not bring in knives. They do not deliver knives. So anybody thinking of buying from the States or wishing to import a knife, you won't be able to do it through anyone but UPS. So
we've got a word of advice from Bo Rex, but I'm not sure if this is dodgy advice or good advice, because I don't know who the Piranha Brothers are, although they sound like pirates. Apparently, James, you should talk to the Piranha Brothers. They can help you get your knives through customs, no problem. I'm almost afraid to ask for any more detail than that, but
I will be in touch later regarding the Piranha Brothers.
And we do have a couple of comments just from the. First of all, just to if you've been wondering, James, where all the demand for the Ginsies has come from, apparently it is one person. Mikey Newman has got 8 Ginsies so far, and apparently he's still keen to get more. So the fact that you've mentioned an upgraded version next year, he's probably already chomping at the bit or drooling or whatever else.
He has.
And
He's Mikey's going to put my daughter through university. So, hi, Mikey.
Well done, Mikey. Congratulations to you.
Can anybody beat Mikey? There's the challenge. Anybody that watches this now or afterwards comes back and see who can beat Mikey at 8 Junsies.
Well, the record is 13.
Oh, there we go. Even more.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're only a beginner then.
You've got room in the collection, Mikey, definitely. Well, we've also got a question from JVS, James. He wants to know if the S35VN titanium Junsi blade fits with the LNRS version you sell. But yours is a it does? No, because it's yours.
They don't. In fact, there is a YouTube video on there where one of the first reviews that was done on the Twisted Junsi. The chap, I can't remember his name off the top of your head, but if you just do Twisted Bestech Junsi review, you'll find it. And he's got the S35VN titanium Junsi there in pieces, and they're not in any way compatible at all. Right. So yeah, people have been wanting to sort of splice them together. Unfortunately, you can't. The same goes for the Tulip as well. If you've got the M390 titanium Tulip, and if you've got a Twisted Tulip, again, they are not compatible. They're both, although they look very similar, they're different animals. That's not anything deliberate on our part. That's just how the design came from Bestech, and yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got to be down to the mechanics, surely, because one's a frame lock and one's a slip joint, really, isn't it?
Actually, they did, yeah. With the Tulip, they did. So they've got a frame lock version, they've got a liner lock version, and they've got a double detent. You can actually buy a double detent, just like the Twisted. You fully UK legal M390 and titanium. I don't think there's anybody that's supplying them in the UK though. But I was able to order one from the States, and that kind of swayed me to do the project in the first place, with the Twisted Tulip. So Bestech tend to do this. They'll do a premium knife, titanium handles, high premium super steel, and then to do a G10 version, and then downgrade it to a liner lock for the States, and for several other European countries as well.
And that's part and parcel of that sort of they redesign or refit the whole kit and caboodle. Because the guy who asked the question, JVS, is actually saying his Bestech as a slip joint too. So it must be it must be variations in the design process itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't realize that.
And the Junsi is actually a Bestech sort of owned design. It's not a collaboration. It's their own designer. It's a great design. I love it. I really do love it.
I think as
with Ostap Hell, he's designed a lot of their knives. He designed the Tulip, and he's designed a whole realm of knives for them. The Tulip, of course, is one of the what they call the bouquet range. So they're all named after flowers. And we're going to be our next collaboration with Bestech is going to be the Beehive, which has just been released. The liner lock version has just been released, a locking version. There is going to be a UK legal version, a double detent UK non-locking folder. That's going to be our next project, probably available in about I would say 3 months.
Fantastic. Are you going to do that like you did the Junsi, or are you going to do another Kickstarter as you did with the Gambler?
Yeah, no, we're not going to do a Kickstarter for that actual project. I think the reason why we did the Kickstarter was because it was our own design. This is another collaboration with Bestech, using one of Ostap's designs. So we'll run a pre-sale. I think we'll give people the opportunity to back it just via our site. So watch this space. We're going to be teasing the design. The blade is going to be a hawk bill. I think is probably the best way of describing it. It's going to be a front flipper, but it's also got a blade cut out so you can open it with your thumb. I think it's going to be very popular indeed. Not to sort of Junsy levels, but I think it's going to be quite a favourite. It's a good size, and we're really excited about that. We've got digital renderings of it that we can start teasing out over social media soon. There's not going to be any prototypes. It's going to be the same, just as it was with the Twisted Junsy, that just the whole production run's just going to come through bang, and so people will have to just rely on the digital renderings.
Can I just interrupt you a minute?
Sure.
Okay. There's a Gadget Gus, who's one of my subscribers, fantastic fella. He is only 2 away from 1,000, which is a great milestone for anybody on YouTube. So if you're on here and you're not subscribed to Gadget Gus, get over there now. Get him over. He's only got to get 2. There must be 2 that are not subscribed to him, and get him over that 1,000 while we're on here. And Gus, let us know if you get there.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry about that. And if you want to ask questions for Richard, please put them down below. He'll answer anything.
You mean James?
James, yeah. What do I call him, Richard?
Richard. Well, it was halfway there.
Yeah, I got most of it. Yeah,
I get called Dick a fair bit, but not Richard.
Yeah, I've been called worse, James. So don't even get me started. Don't even start. We've got to just to get the guys involved in some of this. We've had a few comments. JVF, following up on his previous comments, it was saying that that he feels it's really nice to be able to make non-locking versions of these lovely knives available. So people, owners like ourselves in the UK, can really start to benefit from them, but in a way that we can actually make practical use of them and wear them and carry them with us without being worried about that. We've got Michael Morgan, who's just got one of the tiny best out behind Hawkbill front flippers. So you've got a fan there already.
Right, yeah.
And then Mikey Newman again, because he's your biggest fan, is of course saying that the traditional is an amazing UK legal pocket knife as well. So according to most of the guys here are saying that you're batting 300 basically so far. So it's you're doing well. So it'll be interesting to see how what's coming up next. And the Beehive is obviously what you're going to be following up. Is that going to be the follow up end of the Gambler, or is there something coming first?
Well, I've got a feeling it's the planets are going to align, so we'll have sort of several folders coming at once. It was nice to break away from folders and do a fixed blade, and now we're back to folders. So the Beehive, and then we've got a potential project where we're getting some knives manufactured in Sheffield. They're going to be traditional, in various.
Now I'm excited.
And so we're looking forward to those, and that project will come to fruition when it comes to fruition. You know, we're just going to have to wait. We're going to be making them a little bit modern using micarta, canvas, linen, and also burlap, which is my personal favorite. Absolutely beautiful stuff.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, there's going to be some really lovely finishes and nickel, silver. So it's going to have they're going to be traditional patterns, but with again a bit of a modern theme, and it will just be absolute bliss to have these made in the UK, and UPS can lose them between Sheffield and Kent.
You were about to say kiss my ass there, but I'm not sure that free watershed, so I'm not sure.
In fact, I'm going to drive up to Sheffield and pick them up by hand. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to pick them up by hand. So we've got
that is really exciting for my channel as well, because I have a huge amount of traditional followers, and they
Sure.
get something. And especially my American subs, I'm dying to get it out to them because they're always looking for traditional subs from here, from Sheffield,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
home
yeah.
of
From
the knife.
Sheffield. And
So,
if we've got stock to bring to Blade Show, then I would yeah,
oh,
strongly. We're going to move heaven and earth that we've got at least some prototypes to bring with us, so that we can show them off and people can see them in the steel. But we'll do our best to bring as much stock as we can.
that's fantastic. Well, I'll definitely promote that to heck because an awful lot of my subs again are going to the Blade Show. So,
Yeah.
By the way, Mikey's volunteering to pick up the knives for you, so I'm not sure if you can trust him, given how he hoards ginsies. But but if you need a volunteer to get them for you, he's the man.
see, whenever you find out what table number you're at, will you let me know so that I can get the word out?
I certainly will. It's in the ballroom, which I hear is not the main room.
Yeah, it's a side room, yeah.
But
it's
a side
massive
room.
still.
But apparently, the aircon is better there, and it's carpeted, which is nice. So don't underestimate the baller, was what I was told. So,
yeah, if
we'll
you
see.
let me know, I've got plenty of people I know going there, and they'll come and see you as well, and hopefully tell
please
others.
do. Come by. We're getting some special stickers and merch made, and it's going to be fantastic. Pop up and say hi. Speaking of
If we
shows
push
as
up
well,
some stickers, we could even push that, couldn't we?
What are you talking about? I'm going to be there. I'm going to be his volunteer. I've volunteered to be his broker. Everybody on the chat already knows that you can get me across customs and hand luggage. So, it's not going to be a problem. So,
I'll take you in hand. Never mind the watershed.
Okay, moving on swiftly.
Shillelagh.
Yes. Ducking and weaving is my only way out of this. And yes, Gadget, I quite agree. We need to get the two of us to Blade Show, if only just to make a fool of ourselves. So absolutely.
Well, that's a given.
It's an experience.
What else is coming up this year?
Well, this year we got the Northern Shooting Show in, what is it now? 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we're going to be at Cutler's Corner on at the Northern Shooting Show, which is May 6th and 7th, I believe. So if you are in the north of England or want to make the journey, it's really very worthwhile. There's so much going on there. So if you're into your shooting or any outdoors, horses, dogs, the whole shebang, it's all there. But they do have a Cutler's Corner, and I'll be there. Loads of other great UK knife makers will be there as well, and you can stop by. We'll have as much stock as we can bring, and so yeah, that's the next big highlighted thing in the diary. And then of course we got Sharp Show in October, so there's sort of three red letter days this year for shows getting out there.
Well, let me know all the details of these as you're a month before if you can, and I'll start promoting it for you to get people going there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, there'll be some fantastic days out.
Well, Stephen keeps on promising to show me a good time at Sharp Show in October, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm really hoping I can get there.
Yeah, the of us are.
Yeah,
so
I think it'll be well worth a trip. I mean, it's just a day, So last year was amazing. I mean, I know how difficult it is to try and organize a knife show, and Tiffany, who runs the Sharp Show, made it happen. Did such an amazing job. Last year was just a wild success. I really exceeded expectations. So this year is going to be massive. We're just going to be building on from last year's success. I believe there's a website, so if you Google Sharp Show, but there certainly is a Facebook page and a Facebook group for Sharp Show. Tickets have just gone on sale, so get yourself there. I think tickets are £10 for a day out. I mean, where can you have a day out with knives for £10?
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the
Yeah.
truth? See,
Yeah.
I think some of our American brethren may not quite grasp how sort
Difficult
of,
it
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
they're a rare creature. Is the opportunities to go in and sort of explore the world of knives in the UK. There, it really is a good opportunity. And I mean, Sharp Show, did the Sharp Show only kick off last year, or has it been
no,
around for a bit? It's been
gone
around for a while.
quite a
Yeah.
long while now.
Yeah, well, it's officially, well, it was Knives UK
That's
UK
right, yeah.
show. And
I know
then so
Mike's
Sharp
Knives
Show
has quite
was
a bit to
just
do
last
with it.
year. Just
Yeah.
last year, because of course we had COVID, didn't we? So we had no
Yeah,
shows
2
at
years
all
of it,
for 2
yeah.
years. And the organizer of the Knives UK show sort of stepped away, and luckily Tiffany Parkinson sort of stood to, came to the breach and got together Sharp Show. So yeah, it's fantastic. Really, really looking forward to that in October.
Good.
Fantastic.
That'd be great, and you must get over.
It would be lovely.
Well, we'll definitely try. Definitely try. So guys, have we got any questions in the chat? Stick them in the chat as we go, and we'll field them to James over here.
And congratulations, Gadget Gus has got to 1,000.
He made his 1,000. He really did.
So thank you. Anybody else, go over and subscribe to him. He's got a fantastic channel. A real nice man.
Yeah. And you see, I can go home now and tell my wife and call my mother and tell her that I am actually good for something. I mean, Gadget Gus, we got him over the 1,000 mark. Come on.
That's an achievement. It really is.
I take that. That'll help me sleep.
The excitement of being a YouTuber and hitting 1,000 is beyond words. It's
well done.
It doesn't sound like much, but it's such an achievement. To get 1,000 people listening to you just is mind blowing at the time.
Yeah.
100 is mind blowing, but yeah,
every little milestone. So you've spilled the beans on Sheffield, on Atlanta, on the Beehive, and what's next?
Well, we're sort of expanding the website a bit. We're bringing in, we've got some torches from Woburn. We've got the Exo Knight. I sent Stephen one, and he quite liked it, and so we've got that.
No, I really like it. It's always sitting here.
That's
fantastic
it.
Little knife. Nice.
Very fidgetable. So I've got in contact with Woburn, and we've got some more torches hitting the site. Just some more budget friendly ones. Some keyring torches. A torch that is good quality, perform well. But if you lost it, you wouldn't hammer up the drywall. And it's we're going to be expanding a range of twisted assisted survival key rings. So these are key rings you can just keep in the car, keep in your bug out bag, take with you into the woods, that will have a multi-tool on there, a whistle, a ferro rod, or a fire steel, something like that, the means to make fire, a compass, just little, ever since, growing up with Rambo knives and seeing the little hollow handle fixed blades, which always had me fascinated as a little boy, buying these knives at an airfair or something, which you could do back then. You could be 9 years old and buy a fixed blade. And those little Rambo knives that had the compass in the handle, they were terrible. As soon as you used it for anything, the blade just snapped off straight away.
I remember.
But just the idea of, I became obsessed with survival kits. So this is just sort of me following on from that, and it's been a lot of fun cherry picking the stock from all over the world. So we've got compasses coming from Switzerland and America. We've got the Chinese just dominate the torch market completely. So we've got some affordable torches coming from there. We've got little precision tweezers, pinpoint precision tweezers from a little company in America called Uncle Henry.
Oh yes, I know the ones.
Yeah, there is Uncle Henry. We've just bought a whole bunch from them. They shipped over. They're third generation. They've been making these tweezers, and they are quite literally the most amazing set of tweezers. If you're in the woods with your kids and they get caught up in some thorns and you can, picking out splinters, they're absolutely fantastic. So they're going to feature on the survival keyring as well. And people will be able to buy them separately. People can mix and match. So we're going to have stock on the site where people can just take it or leave it, just cherry pick what they want and assemble their own survival keyring. In fact, it's been really difficult trying to source a multi-tool which fits the criteria that we want it small. We want the keyring to fit in somebody's pocket. And of course, Leatherman have stopped doing the squirt and what's the other the micro.
Yeah,
they seem to have just discontinued a load of these small little multi-tools. So we've been sourcing, in fact, we've been sourcing a whole shipment load of micros from the Republic of Ireland. We've managed to get those over from a contact over there. So really all of these components to the TA survival keyring, they're coming from all four corners of the globe. It's really exciting doing that. So of course it's finding the time to then photograph them and get them onto the site, and that's quite challenging. So they are coming, and I would say within a week they will be listed on the site.
Fantastic. Entirely. I don't know whether you're into slip joints yourself. Are you a collector of slip joints, traditionals?
I try. I mean, I've been selling knives for the best part of 10 years, and as a seller, I never get attached to anything. Everything's for sale. So my own personal collection of knives is very small. They're just a select group of users that I've got. So I used to collect quite extensively, but not anymore.
Well, really now, there's an awful lot there's been a revival in traditional knives, as I'm sure you're aware. They really are starting to come into it. And these little sheaths with the elastic side attachment for pens, or little 3.5-inch, 3-inch torches.
Caddies.
Yeah. The wee 3.5-inch torch and a wee small pen that fits in it, it's only about 3.5 inches. If you do twisted assisted pens, there's another little option for people, because everybody's always looking for a small one. And there's very few good budget ones. And I think your logo on the front of a little pen would just be smashing.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we'd love to see that happen. We would absolutely love to see that happen.
There's my personal favorite, which is the Zebra F1. I think it is the Zebra F1, and it's little telescoping pen. But the trouble with it is you can't get them anymore because they're all out of stock on. And so if you could do, Stephen's quite right. If you could do a little pen like that and a caddy or something like that and add it to your survival kit, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Sure.
A lot of people in the traditional world are moving away from the big torches to the small ones they can put. Sometimes with caddies with an extra leather side or an extra piece on the side for putting torches in, and it's bigger than that one now.
No, you don't need anything bigger than that. As I keep on telling
that's a great idea. Yeah, those caddies, they're an absolutely fantastic idea. And so
I have a really good contact for somebody who makes them already. Now, he doesn't do it full time, I don't think yet, but he's very good at knocking them out, and he puts them out at a very good price. I'll maybe get in contact with you next week. Want to check with him if you would like.
Absolutely. In fact, I've got some leather.
Your crest on it would just be amazing.
Yeah. No, we've got the materials sat here. We've been stockpiling some really nice Italian leather that we've got there. It's climate controlled in one of the workshops, and just ready to be used for caddies. So we can supply all of the material. is
Actually, he's a friend of Stephen's, a very good friend of Stephen's. So if you're with Stephen, he knows, he speaks to him regular. So Stephen, we a good boy to link up with him.
great. Yeah, no, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, check with
Absolutely.
Stephen. He's got a boy that really does, and he does lovely work.
Well, the more things that we can do, within the UK, the better, I think. And
absolutely.
The cross fertilization that we can get going between people with different skill sets, that would be great. I mean, are hanks still a thing in the EDC world? I don't know. I mean, like spinners,
real fancy
they had
ones
their
are
day.
sort of.
Yeah, I mean, like spinners, they had their day, but we've got somebody else in the UK that's very good at making hanks. But what we're trying to do is make them a little bit more useful. So we're just putting microfiber polishing cloth on one side, so that people can maintain their equipment and polish their knife, instead of just blowing their nose on it or just putting it there for their Instagram picture and then carefully.
Do you want me to know what I would suggest if you're going to do hanks? 4x4, not these big ones, because they don't fit in your back pocket. It's little 4x4 ones you just fold and they're way out of the way for cleaning your glasses, for cleaning your knives.
Absolutely, not too big.
Definitely the wee 4-inch ones. And can you imagine the picture of the big skull on that?
That'd be great.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I just I want to give a shout. We've just had some artwork done by another good friend. Not sure if he's watching, but Derek Little. He's done some great work for us. Got a variation of our logo done, and we've made another contact in the UK with a chap with a laser engraver that he's got a fantastically powerful machine, and so he's able to put our logo and all of our artwork onto pretty much anything. Titanium. He can do deep etching onto brass and copper. And we've got some really exciting things in the pipeline. Some nice limited runs. Some aluminium wallets which are coming out, which can it's got a little. You can have your billfold there, and you got 3 or 4 credit cards in there. That's always an evolving thing.
Twisted assisted cups,
yeah. We're still looking. We're still looking for a thermal mug that ticks every single box.
Yeah.
Just something when you're getting ready for work, you can just fill up with coffee. It's still going to be hot half an hour down the road on your commute. We're looking to sort of find some at the right price. We've got the guy to laser etch them. So many little projects like this going on. It's fun. It is fun.
Mike is actually asking, James, where did the Twisted Assisted logo come from?
That's because you do see it about. There's a few other companies that have the sort of the skull and the gas mask, but the significance is that who doesn't love a skull? Who doesn't love a skull? We pirates and whatnot. I think there's something about the skull, but the gas mask is significant because knife makers, and in fact, anybody that's machining anything will be wearing a mask to actually, a dust mask of some variety. So it's a nod to makers, knife makers, and pretty much anybody grafting away at a machine and looking after themselves by wearing a mask. And so my sort of colleague Ashley Phillips, he came up with the idea of combining the two, and we had a guy in America come up with a design, and that was our logo for a few years. And then we found a very, very talented guy in Chile who did our current logo. He's actually reworking our current logo at the moment to include the tritium. So literally 20% of our business now is tritium. If people want tritium vials for their their torches, for whatever they want to use it for. They're coming to us. We're shipping all over the world, and so we're doing he's reworking our artwork to incorporate that. Twisted tritium, not twisted assisted. So when somebody orders some tritium vials, we can just slip one of these stickers in there as a little freebie and as a little nod to tritium.
We were talking beforehand, and you were saying that you're going to send me over one of the little keyring fobs with the tritium in it and things like that, and I can show people then what you're talking about on especially American viewers, and they can see what the tritium things that you have.
That's it.
So I'll do that as soon as they come. I'll let the sub see it. And
if you have, if everybody out there has ever loved messing around with glow sticks, you know, the snappable glow sticks, tritium is the ultimate version of that in miniature form. That it just looks so cool.
I've never seen one in hand.
Really?
Never.
Haven't you?
No.
A lot of people think that you've got to charge them with UV light and they're like glow in the dark. They're not. They're a self-sustaining isotope that will glow for 20 years. And
isn't that the wee thing in the top here? It just, you can put a wee tritium in the top of the torch.
There are 8 slots on the Wubin Exo Night. There's eight potential slots that you can fill.
Yeah.
And do you know what? When tritium, the biggest users of tritium in this country are anglers. They put it
fishing,
on
of course. Yeah,
night fishers.
They put it on everything. They're zipper pulls. They're I am not a fisherman or an angler, so I don't know what it's called, but, you know, the thing that bobs when the fish, you know, so I can see that, and just even marking where your bivvy is and stuff like that in the dark. Kit markers. You know, the MOD use it for live fire ranges and things like that. They'll use tritium markers to when they're doing night firing exercises to
don't forget, in my day we just had a big fire in the corner of a field. It's wonderful stuff, and it's a pleasure to be able to sort of incorporate it into what we do.
I saw there was one of your more recent releases was the 3 inserts on the pivot for one of your Genevieve customs, and it just looked fabulous. But it's literally just, they're like almost propelling pencil size. It's sort of there's that small
0.95 mil. It's and that isn't even the smallest one they do. They do smaller than that. It's amazing. They use them on watches. They can have the watch tritium vials, which go on, you know, the second hand or a minute hand, the hour hands on watches. They go really small, and Richard Hitwell, who mills all of those for us, I think his maximum that he can mill into one Junsey pivot, he did 6. He put 6 in a vortex shape, which is just, you know, my brain melted at the thought of doing that. We like the sort of the tri-vial vortex because 3 is the perfect number as far as I'm concerned, and
my wife's gonna kill me. I will sit in bed and play with my little torch with a light on the top. What a thing! A torch with a light on top.
Yeah, a torch within a torch within a torch within a torch.
Precisely, but laying your hands on it, you know, I've got mine on the bedside. In fact, look, I've got. Let's see.
There you go.
You can even see them glowing there.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah,
fully kitted out.
This has got every color on there.
But that's the thing; they're all multicolored as well. So it's not just
you got 9 colors. 9 colors.
I can't wait for that. What a thing to put on your on.
Well, but that's what he did. When he custom does some of the extra scales, he actually mills them into the scales for the gambler, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And we're gonna.
That's small. It wouldn't take that much just to do it yourself, you know, and put it in. If it's your working knife, you're not going to mind to make a wee hole in it and just stick it in it.
We trim
Yeah,
it.
well, there's various ways. I mean, the tritium vials that we do on the gambler handles, they're actually flat. So they're not cylindrical vials, they're flat. But what I'm going to do for you, Stephen, is that when we send you up some micarta scales to put on your Junzi to do a video on, we've got some inserts where we drill a 2 mil hole and then we put the tritium into the Junzi scales. So they're going to be available soon, and I'm going to put one on each side of your.
Wow, that's great. Well, it's great for me, but it's great for other people just to see what it's like.
Yeah, just to see
because
it.
if you're an old fogey like me, this is all new technology. This is over my head usually, this technology.
Yeah.
But, it'll be really good.
We'll get that done.
I think visual, especially for American, not just American, Canadian, Australian, anybody who watches. I have a wide range of subs from India to anywhere you can think of. And to be able to see something rather than talk about it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, the show don't
it does.
Yeah, it really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
there we go.
Yeah. James, look, as usual with my time, we could keep going all night, but my rule here is to keep it to time, and we've learned that an hour is the sweet spot. Apart from anything else, we've got to let your daughter back into her bedroom at some point.
I know, yeah.
No, I have to. But we have to say hello to all the guys who've been in the chat.
Yes, that would be nice just before we go.
So just for your benefit and to let you know, we've had JVF, we've had Jason, we've had
Randy, we've had Randy WSG, JVF, Michael Morgan, Galen, Mickey Newman. Keep going.
We've got Gadget Gus,
Jason Glover,
and Byron. I'm not sure if Byron's still with us or whether he's
Mickey
gone back
Newman,
to work.
And who else have we got now?
That's about us, really.
Yeah.
And I think Thrifty came in there at the end.
And Pete.
Yes, of course.
But it's been lovely. Thank you for coming in and joining the podcast. Thank you for
having me.
Yeah,
thank you very much for having me.
For the questions that you've been given by the subs, I think that's fantastic. Well done for getting Gadget Gas over the Gadget. I don't know why I do this. Gadget Gas. You do the talking, I'll do the smiling.
Gosh, forgive him. You know what he's like, and he's not had a good day. So I mean, it's one of those.
But James, thank you so much. As usual, you come on, you tell us everything that's going on. I really appreciate that. And I hope our subs do.
And look, from everybody here, look, we're wishing you every success in the coming year. I think you've knocked it out of the ballpark with the Gambler and the Kickstarter, and hopefully it wasn't too much of a struggle for you. Definitely looking forward to what you're going to come up with next, and there seems to be plenty.
Yeah, the traditional's really getting me excited now already. I'm
locked in a room with him getting excited. That's all I know.
Well, thank you for having me on, and thank you to everybody that supports us via purchasing something from our site, and thank you to everybody in the community.
And the site's going to get bigger, folks. So keep in contact. You know, I'll let you know as much as I can. But we'll put down the site. We'll put the site name down below in the description. Go over and have a look what he's got, and then you can watch it grow with us. So that's the exciting thing.
Absolutely. Right, lads. Thanks very much. James, hang around for a second.
Yeah, sure.
As usual, we'll say good night to the fellas.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
In the world. Thanks again, and we'll see you hopefully next week. Take it easy now.
Bye.
Bye now.